Well. Hello. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another live stream where we guys gonna build something crazy using Swift. Okay, so before starting, we'll start this session or can live stream as a beginner friendly because I personally don't know what is Swift and how we can create applications using Swift. I am basically a Flutter developer who have created applications using Flutter only. So today what we'll do is we'll learn Swift from scratch. Okay. We'll learn Swift as a beginner friendly course. We'll use AI tools such as ChatGPT or any other AI tools to learn what is Swift and we will find out some of the tutorials on internet which are present great having all the Swift related content over there. Okay, so without wasting our time, we will start the session. Okay, so first of all, I'll refresh my page and see if our live stream is working or not. It is working. It is there. Okay, let me check it on my phone. Is everything is clear? We are getting a proper sound and all. So I have click on my live stream, and if I check. Okay, so it is working fine. Okay, perfectly. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I have installed already Xcode. All the setups I have done already. So if you haven't did the setup, so you can download Xcode and do whatever the required settings you need for creating the application. Okay. So first thing first, you should know is you should have a MacBook so that you can create applications without MacBook. It is not possible for you to create apps on Windows for Swift. So you should have a Mac machine. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'll create a project. I click on a project, selecting app, and I click on the next button. Then I'll name my app. Suppose we are doing practice. Okay, we are doing today practice. So I'll call it as practice application. So practice and interface as Swift UI. And what is storyboard? Okay, so storyboard is basically nothing but it's a drop-down kind of UI. Okay, so pre-built widgets are there. You can drag and drop and create, write your logic and create application. Okay, and there is a language support. So right now there is Swift only, and if you are a old user or you have an old version, so there is an option of Objective C as well. Okay, so you can create apps for iOS using both the languages Swift as well as Objective C, but right now, Swift is popular than Objective-C because of some reason, because of some language dependency. Okay, and I'll set testing as none, storage as none, and I'll click on the next button. Okay, so it is asking me for the GitHub repository where I'm create. Okay, I'll gonna create it on my desktop, and if I maximize this so you can see this dashboard over here, and here we will see our simulator, or we can say whatever simulator we have chosen. I have chosen my iPad Pro 13 M4. If I can select iPhone 16, I'll get a proper simulator of iPhone 16 over here. So let us wait for few seconds. So before that, we will see on the internet what is Swift is basically. Okay. So if I click on what is Swift in programming. Okay. Okay. So here we get the official Swift programming language website we're gonna learn. So for that, you need to install first Swift and all the setups that you need to do. Okay. So this is the official Swift website. So I'll prefer this one. So Swift is a powerful initiative open source programming language developed by Apple. Okay, for building apps across entire ecosystem, including iOS, macOS, watchOS, and tvOS. Okay, that use Apple operating system. Okay, it is introduced in 2014. It was designed as a modern and safer, fast successor to Objective-C. I have used that term previously, Objective-C. So previously, when it was introduced in 2014, so they were using Objective-C, and now they are switched back to the modern programming language, which is Swift. Yeah. So here's the characteristic of it. Modern and expressive, so feature clean, concise syntax that is easy to read and write, making it approachable for beginners while remaining powerful for experts. So what does it mean? Okay, modern and expressive. What does it mean? Suppose if I go to ChatGPT and I'll do it as give me hello world code in Swift as well as in Objective C. So here you can see the clear difference. Sorry, I need to do LGPC. Okay, so it understands. So okay, so here's the Swift programming language. what they have typed is import foundation and write print hello world. So this is the code. This is the boiler code in Swift. If I go to Objective C, then here is the code in C++ kind of language, but it's Objective C. Okay, so similar is kind of syntax, similar. Syntax is kind of similar. Okay, so here you need to first import the dependencies as we already use Swift, but the boilerplate code is here. We need to write that number of line of code, like initializing the main function, then writing hello world with some of the like you know methods, then we return the zero. So it is going to be a lengthy process, or like we need to write more line of code. So to concise that and write a cleaner code, like they have used Swift. So that's the point, identifying here the modern expressive, safe by design. Okay, so these are the characteristics of Swift programming language that you can read directly on the internet. So I hope our emulator gets started running. Okay, so here it is. So it is by default our application. Here we will define our assets. Assets in terms of images that we are going to use in application. Content view, which show our like emulator. So it is basically running via this hashtag preview content view. So if we did hashtag preview, so it is showing us this screen, the main screen, and if we change the screen, it will get removed. Okay, so this is our entry point. Import Swift UI. This is practice app hashtag. So suppose we'll do one thing. If I copy this content view and if I paste over here, and I'll change the name of the class as practice app. Will it work? Will it work? Just comment down. Will it work if I do this? No. Why? Because type of expression is ambiguous without type annotation. Okay, so what does it mean? Why we are not able to run as preview it over here but not there? Hmm? Uh, so if I do it like if I copy this and I go to ChatGPT and I tell you why I'm not able to preview here. If I do like this, so you are very close. This is the common Swift UI preview mistake. Okay, practice app is your app entry point, not a view. Okay, so what it does mean? What does it mean? Okay, so what it is like basically telling us is it is our entry point, not our view. Okay, the practice app that we are initializing over here inside preview is not our entry point. Like it's our entry point, not our view. So we can only like preview only view kind of things inside this preview method. Okay, so how we can fix it? We can do hashtag preview and content view. So if I change it to content view, and if else again save, or it automatically gets saved, and we see the preview, we can directly see the preview whatever we things written in the content view. So our screen is visible of it. Okay, so these are the basic things we're going to cover in this session. So we're learning from scratch, like each and every concept that uh, helpful as a beginner for us, we'll cover in this session. Okay, okay, so let us see first our live, like how many people have joined us. So if I refresh my page and okay, so one guy is watching us live right now. Okay, so maybe I request you to share the link, or you know share with your friends, so that how many people have joined us. Many people can join. So if I refresh my page and okay, so one guy is watching us live. That you need to install first Swift. Here is the code in C++ kind of language, but it's Objective-C. Okay, so similar is kind of syntax. Similar syntax is kind of similar. Okay, on the internet. So I hope our emulator gets started running. Okay, so here it is. So it is by default our application. Here we will. Okay, great. Maybe after this stream is get recorded, maybe some of the audience will interested in learning Swift, so they will see the stream. Okay, we'll continue our part. We'll continue our learning session. It is quite new for me as well because I haven't created application in Swift, so it is basically a new thing for me, new stuff for me. So we'll continue it as learning curve, learning new technology for me. So okay, okay. So what we're gonna do is uh, what I need in this. First, I'll check how I can create a header in this. Okay, it is by default the code. If I copy this and I go to ChatGPT, I'll use my logged in session in ChatGPT. So I'll use my this profile and I'll copy the place and I'll say it. I want to take, uh, remove all the existing code and tell me how I can create app bar in Swift. Okay, if I do this prompt, give this prompt to ChatGPT, what will it give me? It will give me this code, like how I can create app bar. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just copy this code and I'll paste inside it, and our preview gets started running after it. The content view you can see over here. Okay, so it have given us the side nav bar icon. So the OS is upgraded in OS 26. That's why we are getting this glass kind of effect. Here the add button and home screen and my application. So what we are learning over here, what we are getting in this. So you can see there is structure content view, and inside our view we have defined a body, and inside body there is some view, and we have a navigation stack, and inside navigation stack we have text, which is our home screen text, and then navigation title, then navigation title dot display inline mode, then our toolbar. Inside toolbar we have toolbar item, action button, and menu bar button. Okay, so what we'll do is we will remove this code and we write it from scratch so that we can learn the syntax. Struct content view, and we'll do view. Okay, and what is the second thing is body. Inside body there is some view. So you type like this, and our content view gets started refreshing. We'll get the blank screen, and here we will define the navigation stack. So inside our navigation tab, all the things we will create. So first there is a thing which is our home screen. So I'll do this as home screen. Okay, and at the text we need to define a app bar. So for app bar, what is the thing? Yes, there is dot navigation title. Okay, so if I do the navigation title, we can define anywhere because it is inside the navigation. Okay, we'll define it over here. So we can define it anywhere. Like we can first define the navigation stack or toolbar, whatever. But we should remember this. We should add with the component only. Dot navigation title. Navigation title, and our title will be uh, my app. If I do it like this, so I'll get the my app. Okay, and I need to style my app. Okay, I need to style my app. So I'll do navigation bar title option. So title display mode. So title display mode dot inline. If I do inline, nothing goes happen. So navigation bar title mode only inline dot inline. If I do dot inline, it is inside dot inline. What if I'll do all the properties one by one? If I do dot last, it will go here. If I do dot automatic, so it remains over here. If user scroll it, it goes to the center. That I am like understanding right now. So I'll do it as inline for now. Inline. Okay. Okay, clear. Now, if we talk about any other property in this, so if I click on dot, will I get anything else? There is no such thing except this. I can found over. Maybe there is, but right now I'm not getting what if I tap on N. So will this have any navigation related content? Yeah, there are many things. Navigation document, navigation subtitle, navigation link. If I use navigation subtitle, then I'll add subtitle. So it is for subtitling. Okay, okay, we're getting this. My app subtitle, subtitle. If I tap on this, and if I again tap on N, it means the navigation will just stop comes over here. Navigation back bar but back button hidden. Okay. So what in some cases happen is in some mobile application development cases, we need to hide this back button. Okay, suppose the user routed from one screen to the another screen, we don't want user to get back until the process get done or anything operation get done. So we can use this property dot navigation bar type navigation dot back button hidden navigation back button get hidden. So we can use this property to hide the back button. Okay, so because it is our main screen, so it is automatically get hidden. So we do not need this property. And if I again type navigation, there are many things as well we can explore in this. Okay, navigation bar items trailing. And if I add any view, suppose I add text, and inside our text, if I add hello, so here we can add trailing that the user is already added as a the menu item in our this code. Okay, so we'll use first toolbar. If I click on dot toolbar, and inside this we need to define our toolbar things. It is toolbar role. So we need to use toolbar. If I do like this toolbar, and we need to create. So one thing we need to remember is toolbar only accept toolbar items. If we can check the syntax, so it will take only a view. Okay, only view. Configure segment to content property. It only takes view. We'll, if it takes view, like let us check. Is it take only view or only toolbar item? So that is- okay, so it will take view only. Okay, so toolbar item is also a view. So if I define toolbar item to toolbar item, and inside toolbar item, I'll placement will be dot trailing like at the end, top bar dot no navigation bar dot trailing. Navigation bar dot trailing at the last. Leading means at the front and trailing means last and the title means center. Okay, and content will take a function. So it is a function. So we'll define it like this. And inside this we'll create a button. We'll define a button. Button action will be on press, print tab, and image will be plus. So on tab it will print. So where is our console so that we can see what is happening? Let us find. So where I can found the output of button tab. Like where is the terminal? There is a terminal. Okay, so it will give me a response that your terminal in Xcode go to debug console mode. So run your app. Look at the bottom area of Xcode debug area, console or debug area. So where is the console? Where is the console, guys? I'm not able to find it out. Where is the console area? Hmm. Anyone knows where is the console area? So please let me know. Okay, so for that we need to run the app. It is basically a preview. To see, we need to run this app. If I click on this run button, maybe it will get started. Yes, it is started building. I'm starting to practice iPhone. Our cameras get paused. Okay, so it is launching. Then we can see our debug mode. Then we can see inside the debug mode what is happening. How is our button is pressing or not. So attaching to practice on iPhone. Okay, so it is running. We have we have another emulator over here. So okay, finally we got our debug mode. So where will we get the output? No, no. This is our app. Okay, if I tap on this button, then it will print button tap button tap. So it is our previous thing and it is our emulator that actually runs our app. So in Swift, we don't have the hot reload and hot restart kind of thing that we get in Flutter. So first we'll check like ask with AI like is Swift have hot restart and hot reload. I think Swift does not have Swift like yeah. iOS Swift UI does not have true portrait or how to start on the film. It have live preview, which is this live preview, and automatic refresh, which is automatically refresh this page. If I do plus two again plus, so it will automatically refresh. Okay, so Swift does not have. Let me stop this app because we are not running right now. We are just seeing the preview. So this how we can create toolbar and button actions. Okay, okay. Before continuing, what I'll do is I'll first format this code. Where is the formatting? Because in VS Code we get like refactoring the code. So if I go refactor, it refactor. Okay, so it will be getting applied, not the refactoring it. Okay, I will do the content view like this. Okay, it will run. Okay, so this how we can create application as bar and trailing buttons, add text, using text view. So it is quite simple creating apps in Swift because it uses same kind of structure. Like we have like family as we have Flutter developers, we are familiar with classes and all. Structure is similar to classes because in C, at that time object-oriented programming concepts were not introduced, so they have started using structure. So structure and classes are kind of similar like having only little kind of difference. In structure, we need to define the memory address and all, and class is automatically defined because dynamic kind of content comes in class, and structure is kind of you know you need to initialize all each and every. Structure and classes are kind of similar, like having only little kind of difference. In structure, we need to define the memory address and all. The class is automatically defined. The dynamic kind of content comes in class, and structure is kind of okay. We will continue the session. Okay. We will continue the session. Okay. So as we have created an app bar, now we'll proceed to our next step, adding an online image inside Flutter. Sorry, Swift. I'm like quite familiar in Flutter, that's why I already use Flutter. Okay, so how we can add an image inside Flutter? Swift. Sorry, how we can add an image inside Swift. So I'll give a prompt to ChatGPT, like how I can add an online image inside Swift app. Okay, if I'll do this and hit enter, it will give a procedure to use URL and add image inside your app. So to load an online image from URL, so app already Apple already gives you a built-in view for a sync image. As we have familiar with Flutter, we have image.network, or we can say cached network image. Here we have inbuilt thing which is a synchronous image. Okay, so that we can use inside our app to showcase an image. So what we'll do is these are navigation stack, these are title, and uh, here we'll define if I take this is my starting, this is my closing, this is my navigation. So here we will define the asynchronous image. Is it possible to define it here? Can't define in the scope. Okay. So how we can define it over here? If we use V stack, means vertical stack. So is it possible? Sync image, yeah, it is possible if we use. And we need to define the URL. So we will copy this URL because Pixum has already predefined images we can directly use. So we do not need to search it on the internet. We'll directly define it like this. Okay, now content is started previewing. Fail to build content view dot swift. So why it gets failed? So what is the error? Cannot convert type of string to expect URL. So we need to parse this string. Okay, we need to parse this string in URL. So we'll use URL in small bracket, then we'll define the URL and like this, and maybe it will work. So if I do this, content again. So what's the issue again? We have passed the URL, and now we'll define things. Now to define is initializer, edit, importing system module and all. What if I'll just copy this for now to understand what is happening while getting this error? Copy this and I'll just paste this. Will it work? Yes, it is working. Okay. So what the issue is, we haven't like started the function because the kind of function thing we need to define this image in image and then we need to be resizable image, scale to fit and progress view. It is an indicator. Like while image is loading, it will show the indicator and the frame size will be 200 to 200. If I'll do this height is as 300 and width is as 300, sorry 300, so our image gets like scaled. Image gets scaled. If I do the immediate properties, scale to fill, scale to fit, okay, scale to cover, there is no scale to cover, so scale to fit, fill I do is, I'll do. So every time I'll refresh this, I'll get a new image because Pixum assign like simultaneously random images to this URL. Okay, resizable. Is there any other property except this? So image dot resize only resizable. Maybe there were many properties, but as a beginner, I don't know. So I'm using resizable. So I'll get this image like this. Okay. So using we cannot directly use a synchronous image inside our navigation stack. We need to define it inside a view. It can be a vstack or it can be a view that we can use to define things. What if I do is like this? View is nothing but this kind of container that we use that we already know in setup. If I do this like this view, will it work? No, it is not working. VStack means vertical stack, means column. S text means row, means horizontal thing. Okay, and there is a Z stack, it means stack. We already know. Z stack means stack, and V stack means vertical stack. S means horizontal stack. Okay, so what we have learned in this session is first, what is view? Inside view, we can define things. Navigation stack that already comes up with things such as navigation title bar. We can create this action buttons. We can create using vertical stack. We can define things. If we'll do like this H stack, I can do this H stack, H stack, and I'll copy the image and I'll again paste it here. Then paste it here. I'll get two images, but in a row. Okay, I'll get two images, but in a row. If I do V stack, we'll get the images in a column like this. Okay, what if I copy paste this image multiple times? Will I get a scroll automatically? That we like as we know in column and row we did not get a by default scroll. We need to define it using single style scroll view in Flutter. In single style scroll view in Flutter, or you can use this view. But what we need to give scroll in Swift. So I need scroll in VStack. How I can achieve it? Okay, how I can achieve it? So how we can define a scroll so that we can user will scroll and he will see the multiple images. Okay, so we need to wrap our VStack inside scroll view. Okay, there is a property called scroll view. So what I'll do is I'll just copy like this and I'll inside it I'll create view and then I'll do scroll view. If I do like this, we will get all our images replaced, but in scroll view. We can scroll it. What if I do it as horizontal stack? Edge stack. I'll do it like this. I'll do it like this. Horizontal stack. Will I get the scroll view? No, I'm not getting it. Why? It is still vertical. So we can do one thing that where are where is that? Okay, so dot scroll. Is there any property related to scroll direction? Is there any property related to scroll direction? Uh, okay, so there is property inside it, inside the function here. Dot dot horizontal. So our scroll gets horizontal now. We can scroll it horizontally. Okay. Now, now, as a beginner, how I will get to know that which property I need to define inside function and which I need to define inside this, and how I will get to know that this view need v stack or h stack or navigation stack. We can't directly define them. Okay. So we have a confusion. Like as a beginner, I don't know how I can like where I can define properties at parentheses and where like how we can define that. So it will give me a clear understanding about each and every property. Okay. So as a beginner, this is very good beginner question. And honestly, every Flutter developer struggles at the first. Let it break this down. Break it down. Okay. So parenthesis is basically for parameters, configurations, and curly braces is for content, child views, closures. Okay. Example breakdown. Spacing inside this and views inside this. Okay. How should view behave? So behavior kind of stuff related to behavior go inside our small bracket, which is this. And what does the this view contain? So behavior kind of thing goes inside our small bracket and inside our closures or curly bracket will define view. Like which kind of view it will contain. Clear? Okay. It will clear to us actions, what happened and what kind of action we'll do. Okay. How to know which tag aspect versus other? Use when items go top to bottom. Okay. Okay. Navigation tag. When you want to move to another screen. It's basically for language. Okay, so we are already clear with these properties. We're clear now. We're like clear with these properties. Okay, so I'll for now I'll remove these images. I'll use only one single image. Only if I click on this tool here, so break it here. One thing I like about Swift is if I click on this bracket, so it will automatically get highlighted over here. Suppose if I click again here, it will highlight here. If I click on here, it will highlight here. So this thing I love about Swift. Like we do not need to use any third-party extension for it. Okay, okay. So we'll back to our screen that we are doing. Okay. Just give me a time, guys. I'm getting a call right now, so I'll pausing the stream. Just give me a second. Where is the pause button in this? Uh, We are back again, guys. Am I getting our voice? Just comment it down that voice is clear. Just comment it down that I'm clear to you. Okay, let me check it on my stream. Am I audible to you all? We are back again, guys. Am I getting our voice? Just comment it down. Okay. Voice is clear. Okay. The voice is clear. I have checked the stream. Okay. So what we have learned in this session, what we have explored till now. So how we can define view, navigation stack, trailing things, application bar, images. If I control Z it like this, images, horizontal stack, vertical stack, scroll view. We have learned in this. Okay. We have learned in this. This how we can define images. Okay. Is there anything for positioning? Is there anything for positioning? So we'll check dot this position kind of thing. Dot, uh, if I'll do center, so nothing happens. Alignment dot center. If I'll do alignment dot center, then maybe I'll get things like this. I did alignment dot center. It still not get aligned because it is a horizontal stack. Okay. It is horizontal stack. So if I remove the horizontal stack, then maybe it will get centered. No, we'll remove this. It is center again. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll give a prompt to ChatGPT and check how we can center things, how we can centralize things. So how we can how we can define center property in Swift views. Okay. How we can define center views in Swift. So I will give this prompt and it will give me this dot frame max width infinity max height dot infinity. So this how we can there's a property called spacer. So what spacer is basically used for? It is for spacing. Suppose I have defined one image here. I'll copy this. Okay, I'll copy this. I'll define it again here and I'll use a spacer property. Spacer and if I define width, is there any property width? No. Then so if I do 34, 33. So I'll get the width of 33. It will automatically get calculated and if I do it like 366, so I'll get much more width. That is okay. So spacer is for that. So we have explored one more view. Okay. So one question came in my mind, like in Flutter, we called all the UI related components widgets. Then what it will what it will called in Swift. Okay. So in Swift, what does we call these things? What does we call this text widget or what does it mean? So in Flutter, everything is called widget, but in Swift, everything is view. Okay, the UI component called view, image view, progress view, scroll view, stack view. So all these things are view. In Flutter, it is widget. In Swift, it is view. Okay, so this thing as a beginner you should remember of. So the next thing we'll cover what we'll learn. We have learned a bar, image, text, coloring. Okay, coloring. So in Swift, how I can create a container of 200 height and width with blue color. First, we need to understand how you can create a container having a color. So that we can easily draw UI components. Okay. So here's thing. Directly we need to define a color and then frame. Okay. Okay, so this is how we can do. So what I'll do is I'll first I'll delete this code, already existing code, and I'll use a Z stack. Means stack in Flutter. The Flutter W who are watching the stream, it means stack. Okay, so stack. Then we'll define a color. Color dot blue. Color dot blue. And what will be the frame? The frame will be of dot frame. It will be of width 200 and height 200, comma separated. So this is our Z stack. Inside we have defined the color. We do not need to define any semicolon or column, comma, because Swift already know what we are doing. Okay, all the things are already defined, so we do not need to write termination symbols called semicolon or comma. Okay, now we need a text over our container. So I'll define text and I'll write subscribe, subscribe to yogic Yogix one. Okay. So guys, if you haven't subscribed the channel till now, please go and hit that white button to subscribe our channel so that you can like learn about new things. I personally don't know how to create apps in Swift. I'm just using ChatGPT and creating apps and learning things. So it will going to be new learning for you if you subscribe to channel so that you will also get to know about things, the new stuff, new technologies on this channel with me in a live stream. Okay, so please hit that like button. Now we'll define a color for this. So I'll do color dot color dot white. Since I do this, no, this is not the right syntax to define color. So how will define this? If I do white, no. So how will color the text? So there is a property called foreground color. Okay, dot foreground color, and we'll define it as dot white. Now our text gets white. Okay, how to align text? How to align text inside stack? Because we know there is a widget called position in Flutter to position things, and text also come up with a text align property. So in Swift, we should know how we can center things or how we can align things. Okay, so in you can use Z stack to align, but I need to align text. So for text, there is thing called alignment inside a frame. So if we do copy this and I'll just paste this here, so we'll get to know like bottom thing, whatever text goes. It is infinity height width, that's why we are not able to view this. So max height 200 and text width 200. Now we can easily see our text is at the bottom trailing. If we do center trailing, center last break baseline, so it will go to center baseline. If we'll do it as center, so it will go to center here. Okay, so these are the what you can define it using dot frame. Okay, as we know in Swift, all the things are view, but what we will call dot this small bracket thing. What does it mean? Zero resolution. It it is a modifier. Dot is called a modifier, and it is the function we can say return functions. Okay, parameters. Okay, so modified parameters and this contain content and view modifiers. This something means view modifiers because it contains view parameters, it can view and this modifier. So view modifiers we can call them. Okay, okay, clear, clear, clear. Let us see the stream first. How many users have joined us? So for now there is only me in the stream. Okay, so okay guys, we are stopping the stream here. We'll continue from here at maybe today or tomorrow. So in this session, we have explored little bit of things about Swift, and we got an idea like how we can create apps. It is quite simple in creating apps in Swift. Similar, if you are a Flutter developer, if you know programming, if you're a developer, if you are a programmer who knows concept or object-oriented programming, or ever you have created an application, so you should definitely directly, like it will be easy for you to switch to Swift, and it will be easy for you to learn this. It is very simple kind of syntax. So we'll stop the session here, and next time we'll continue from here, learning new views, new view modifiers. Okay. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this stream. We'll get